Uncle
Don't
Feast.
say that, Toxic. Don't put that on me like that.
I'm
Four
just kidding.
letters. One
One
word.
word.
Tech.
Stop.
I won't have these problems too much longer. Our lawsuit mediation is on Tuesday of next week. Thank God, after 2 fucking years of this fucking litigation lawsuit. So I should be.
We're on live, so I don't know if you're allowed to talk about that or not. But.
Oh well, yeah, we're the victim suing. So, I'll be upgrading my equipment when that comes in. I already talked to my wife. I'm going to get a much nicer camera. Probably upgrade this to a MacBook Pro laptop, and then I shouldn't be having connection issues that much anymore. But it's just ridiculous. But that's good. That's exciting. I'm ready for that shit. Let me tell you.
All right, we're almost ready. I just gotta post it a couple times here. What am I doing? Quotes.
I'm getting my haircut tomorrow, so y'all gonna see me with new hair on Friday.
You're gonna go like completely bald? You should.
No.
No.
Are you doing a number 1 or?
I don't know.
Why don't you? You got enough hair to where you should be having them faded up the sides for you, man. Get a skin fade. Get a high and tight skin fade.
Get a mohawk. Just go bald.
Hell no.
And then just down the back.
Hell no.
You call it but I think you'd look good with a high and tight skin fade. Leave enough on the top to style with a pomade or a gel.
Oh, Snug. My stepdad has been trying to get me for a couple years to get an inverted mohawk. I'm like,
there you go.
No.
Do it.
That's what I get for my haircut. I get that for my haircut. But wait, hold on.
Jay, my love, says, "Hey y'all, what's good, Jay?"
Oh, you get a fade and a 1.5. Okay.
All right, we ready.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. 4 letters, 1 word.
Mute.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. My name is Edgar. I am the host. Monday Night Raw was insane tonight. One hell of a Monday Night Raw after the Night of Champions. And it was an early Monday Night Raw. It started a couple hours early, which means we are doing the review early, which means we're going to be done early. And that's really, really lovely. What's going on, fellas? Welcome to the Snug Crew, Mr. Blood, Toxic, and Tommy.
Biggie.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Interesting episode of Raw.
We
they
are
did
headed
it early because of the fact that they were pre-recording SmackDown, so they can have family time for the 4th of July.
So
that is why it was early.
So wait. So Monday Night Raw was early today because of the 4th of July?
Because they are pre-recording SmackDown for that, yes.
Oh, they're pre-recording SmackDown tonight?
Yes.
Oh.
That is why it was like 2 hours early.
Oh, that's right. God damn it. Okay.
4 letters, 1 word. Spoilers.
Yeah, for real. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of spoilers from the people in the arena. That's pretty crazy, though. The people in the arena, they're getting 2 shows tonight.
Yeah. I mean, we already kind of had a spoiler in the reports. I want to say it was Friday or Saturday. I had already seen the report that it was going to be Io Sky versus Rhea at Evolution. That I had already gotten spoiled on that. They were like, oh, yeah, it looks like they're gearing up to have Io go up against Rhea, even though it's basically another title match that we just had at WrestleMania. And it's like, you got no one else.
Yeah, that was the opening segment for Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. Which
we're going to go over in a little bit here. But yeah, 4th of July is on Friday. So yeah, that makes sense. And I actually don't mind if we get spoiled on Friday because I don't think I'm going to be able to watch SmackDown on Friday, unfortunately, fellas.
So on behalf of the entirety of Snug Wrestling, I would also like to say a quick happy birthday to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, since today is in fact his birthday as well.
Oh, happy birthday to the king of all kings of the ring, Cody Rhodes. He turned 40 years old today, right?
Yeah, I think he's 40. He's the big 4-0. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Pretty soon dyeing that hair ain't going to mean nothing.
Well, right on, fellas. Yeah, so let's get into it then. I think we pretty much we covered everything that we needed to outside of the show. But yeah, Monday Night Raw, pretty much, dude, this was crazy. There's a lot of stuff happening on the show, but I feel like this show pretty much revolved around the next PLE, which is Evolution, because we got 3 matches that were announced tonight, if I'm not mistaken. The first one was Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Then they later announced there's going to be a battle royal to determine the number one contender for the women's championship, and also a 4-way tag team match for the women's tag team titles that Roxanne and Raquel are going to have to defend. Right? Those 3 matches. Am I missing anything when it comes to Evolution? So then let's get started with that. The opening segment, Rhea Ripley versus and Io Sky were face to face. Rhea Ripley just had to go out there, and she didn't really have to say much. Io Sky pretty much came to her. And I feel like we've been seeing that a lot lately, where it's the champions that are coming after their opponents. Like Jacob Fatu offered Solo a title match. Now Io Sky is offering Rhea Ripley a title match. And I don't know, that's just kind of weird to me, but Io Sky said that Adam Pearce gave her the option to choose whoever she wants to face at Evolution. And Io Sky, I don't know if she's either dumb or just is full of heart, says she wants to fight the best, and the best is Rhea Ripley. So we're going to get Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Evolution. Mr. Blood, I feel like we've seen this match over and over again, but has Rhea Ripley been able to beat Io Sky yet? I don't think so, right?
No. So the entire crux of the main criticism that we especially had going into Mania was that they involved Bianca Belair in the Io versus Rhea story. When the story that should have been told, as we have done to death on this panel, have said, it should have been Bianca stayed her ass on SmackDown in her Jade Naomi story. And then you could have inserted Rhea into the chamber to win, or Io into the chamber to win, or whatever you wanted to do to get it to be Io one-on-one with fucking Rhea at goddamn WrestleMania, where you could have told the story of Rhea has never been able to get one over on Io. Rhea has never been able to beat Io Sky, ever. That should have been the story. And now I think for the 3rd time this year or the 4th time this year, we're doing this again. And I'm kind of like, it could have, I love Rhea Ripley, adore Rhea Ripley, and I really love Io Sky. But I feel like anybody else should have been chosen for this match. I would have been fine if we took a break on Rhea in the title picture for months, refreshing her up, put her in the mid-card division, have her really spice of that IC championship division. She doesn't always need to be the top of the top. Do what Becky's doing, building up the mid-card division with freaking Bayley. Do that. This should have been time to spotlight someone else, in my opinion. I also felt like their promo against each other were incredibly weak. I did not care for their promos at all. It felt like they said the same thing 2 times a piece. I think Asuka should have gotten the slot here based on how Asuka and Io had already interacted 2 weeks ago. I feel like Asuka should have interrupted Io, or Io should have called out Asuka and just straight up said, hey, you know what? You didn't win at King of the Ring, but I want to fight you. Because we, just like we always talked about in Damage Control. And then I want Asuka to say one more time, we're not in Damage Control anymore. You're on. That would have been better. Since we're not getting it at SummerSlam, we should have gotten it at Evolution. That feels more like an Evolution-styled match, in my opinion. But it'll be a great match. That's fine. But if we're getting it here, I think Rhea just needs to take it the fuck off of Io. And then it's going to be probably Io versus whomever, Rhea versus whomever at SummerSlam. But I'm kind of tired of Io being champion.
Got a couple comments here I'd like to read off really quickly. Shout out to Ragnar of Odin. Hey, Snug, Mr. Blood, and others. What up, Ragnar? And Colin C says, same with Charlotte. Put her in the mid card. Go ahead, Toxic.
I actually wasn't expecting. I thought Rhea was mainly going to talk about the match with Raquel at Night of Champions, but I'm actually glad we're getting Rhea versus Io. What feels like for the fifth time. Maybe actually is the fifth time. But really no thoughts about it. Just I'm with Blood. I'm tired of seeing Io as champion. Love Io, but I just don't want her to be champion anymore. Same thing with that was my thoughts with Zelina Vega. I liked her, but I was getting tired of her being champion.
To be completely honest, the timing for Io Sky even becoming champion in the first place was completely off. Rhea should have stayed champion and then had Io in the chamber or whatever and have those two at WrestleMania instead of the fucking triple threat that we already got. It was not a good triple threat. If I'm being completely honest here, these three gave it their all at WrestleMania, but overall, it should have just been Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. I'm glad that we're finally getting it, but please, for the love of God, take the title off of Io. Make Rhea Ripley your World Heavyweight Champion again. Please.
Oh boy, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one, fellas, because Io Sky hasn't really been defending the title at all, it seems like, since she's won it. I mean, I can't even think of one title defense that Io Sky has done. So, in a way, it would be kind of shitty if, like, come Evolution, Rhea Ripley beats Io Sky, and then Io Sky just feels like another transitional champion in a way, because you get one match and then boom, you lose it just like that. But also, on the other hand, it's Rhea Ripley. Who would you rather see as champion, Rhea Ripley or Io Sky? So, I don't know. But
also, I mean, can someone look up real quick how long or how many, if Io has even had any defense since Mania? Because I can't think of her last defense outside of Mania. She's been champion for nearly 100 days. And that means she's only had, what, one defense inside of a 100-day reign?
I was there at Mania, and I couldn't even remember. Io
she
Sky
won
defended
it like the month before.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure she hasn't defended it since.
That's a problem, right? Like near 100-day reign, one defense, and it was at Mania just weeks after you won it. Bro, we're hitting the 2-month mark since Mania, bro. Almost freaking 3.
The only reason why I say this is a problem, because I'm usually not like a big hater when it comes to, the champions have to defend every single week, 5 times a month or whatever. I prefer the champions, they defend and they wrestle on the big shows. That's I'm okay with that. But also, this is a problem because I don't think you can just beat Io Sky at Evolution because
at this
for the
point,
same
you
reason.
might as freaking well. I mean, because I'm with you where I don't care if a champion defends it every week or not, but I certainly do feel like you need to defend it at least once a month to every 6 weeks, something, because that was the huge crux that we had with Brock Lesnar. We were hating him as champion because they only put it on him to break CM Punk's record after they cut the cord with CM Punk, and they wanted to wipe his record off the modern history book. So they had Lesnar go on a title reign break. So they got to take it off of Io if they're not having any plans for her. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a rule at one point where it was either like 30 or 60 days before management has the option to just vacate it?
I don't remember. Blood, you're shaking your head. You remember something about that?
So, okay. Io Sky's last title defense was at WrestleMania 41.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense.
And to your credit, yes, there was actually a rule originally where the champion had to do it with every 30 days, 30 to 60 days, or they had to vacate it. I remember that rule. How long was Io's title reign? Because I want to know this shit. Because this is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
At WrestleMania
Big
41,
problem.
so since WrestleMania, it's been 69 days as of June 30th. But she's won the title like a month before that because they kept pie facing her for like they were pie facing her for like 3.5 weeks. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't feel like we need to wait till SummerSlam. At this point, you're just padding out a pretty useless reign. This was the same problem we had with her reign the last time. It wasn't memorable. This is what we were all afraid of when they put the title back on her. She didn't have a memorable reign the first time she held it.
Well, now I'm getting all excited for our prediction episode for Evolution.
Yeah, next week on Wednesday.
Well, let's go on over to the tag team division, y'all. We got new tag team champions for Monday Night Raw. And now the New Day is dripping in the gold. Tag team champions. What did I say?
New Day.
Oh, the Judgment Day faced the New Day. My bad. The New Day lost the titles.
Days that exist.
That's so many.
I honestly don't blame you.
So many days in this fucking
Shut up.
in this fucking thing. But the Judgment Day are new tag team champions. The Judgment Day also the women's tag team champions. Dominic Mysterio, Intercontinental Champion. So the whole faction is carrying gold now. And this was a heel versus heel tag team match. And I was thinking, what the fuck? Who are we supposed to go for here? I don't fucking know. But the fans in Pittsburgh got behind the Judgment Day, which I thought was really interesting. And I got behind the Judgment Day. And it was a great opening tag team match. And to make things even better, we exchanged the titles. We got new champions because I was so over this New Day tag team championship fucking run or whatever you want to call it. Another tag team that even the announcers were saying they need to defend him more. They never defend him. This is coming straight from Michael Cole. And he's like, good, Judgment Day won because the New Day weren't doing anything with them anyway. So thoughts on the tag team match? Are you guys glad we got new champions, or how did you guys feel about this?
I find it funny that Michael Cole called out the New Day for not defending the titles often, but completely left Io Sky alone when she's actually held it 2 times as long with one defense. So very hypocritical there, Michael Cole. I thought that this was genius. The New Day title reign was not working. They ran out of ideas. I haven't seen the Viking Raiders on Raw in a couple weeks. Or the War Raiders in a couple weeks. I've not seen them on Raw. And as far as it's concerned, if you're going to put them back on the Judgment Day, it's doing it while serving a purpose, because you want the Judgment Day to feel as successful as possible without Liv there. So when Liv comes back, it causes friction. Well, look at us. We've been holding gold for weeks and weeks and months. You've been gone. We've been great without you, Liv. We don't need you coming in here and messing up the works. And Liv is going to literally sit there and act like you guys replaced me with Roxanne. So everybody's just happy that I was gone because you're better off without me. And that's the story they're going to tell. And I think putting these tag titles back on Finn and JD was a smart play. And just like I said, just like we agreed, Roxanne replaced Liv in the tag title scene. I remember we said this a couple weeks, we were talking about it. I was like, dude, I already know what they're going to do. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. And now they've automatically made Roxanne a champion. Her first championship on the main roster was given to her, not even earned. So this is going to become quite the story. I hope they keep these titles on these guys for a while until Liv comes back. I think let them all hold the gold for months because it'll be better that way. Okay. The match was incredible. Awesome match. I thought everybody showed up in this match. And let's talk about that awesome JD moonsault and the coup de grace finish. Lovely icing on the cake. I thought this was a great opener. Phenomenal tag team match. And I like that we're getting title matches on quotes unquote free TV.
Sorry, I just y'all just froze for me. Blood, I just want to say something real quick. Roxanne's uh, Roxanne's new position as Raquel's partner, it's going to be not just given to her, it's given to her for now. But that's why the evolution match exists, so she can actually earn it and not just, oh, here you go. Liv's injured, you can have it. But I'm stuck on what I think about the Judgment Day holding the titles again, because the New Day and the Judgment Day had similar reigns. Only defended them like once. So it's going to be like that KSI meme where it goes, yes, 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 and then no, 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 fuck. It's going to be like that. So I'm stuck on what I feel about the Judgment Day as the new tag title or tag champions. Holy shit. Yeah.
I think this was a fucking excellent decision here. As much as we all kind of wanted the New Day to become tag champs, kind of like we did with the Street Profits, they just did nothing with them. Like, at all. They didn't do shit. Okay, y'all didn't. I acknowledge that it's been quite some time, okay?
Yeah, I was like, who is we?
I have seen so many posts saying, hey, make the New Day the tag team champions. I have seen so many. So, I am not alone on this. Because I at least acknowledged how long it's been since the last time they held said titles. Just saying. But New Day losing them, fucking perfect. And when it comes to Roxanne and Raquel, I am interested to see who they specifically pull from NXT.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that
four-way.
when we get there, Tommy.
But we'll get there.
All right, I guess he's done. I'm with Toxic on this one, man. I wasn't really sure. I mean, I'm glad that they got the tag team titles off the New Day, because what the fuck, they weren't really doing anything. But like, we put them back to what it feels like the same tag team again. And it goes back to like what we complain about the most in the tag team division in both Raw and SmackDown. Raw is missing tag teams. It feels like we get the same 3 or 4 tag teams over and over again. This is like at least the 4th time the Judgment Day have won the tag team titles in different like combinations. Like first,
Fourth
Damian.
time that Finn has held it.
Huh?
It's the 4th time that Finn has held it, because him and Damian took it off of Sammy and Kevin, and then Cody and Jay took it off them, and then they took it back, and then JD and Finn held it again.
Yeah, and with different tag team partners, all from the Judgment Day too. So it's just like, all right, the Judgment Day tag team champions again. All right, but at least it's better than the New Day.
It's a break glass in case of emergency situation. When in doubt, put it on the Judgment Day. When in doubt, put it on Randy Orton or John Cena or Seth Rollins. we have found Triple H's go-to reliable team, it seems.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way.
Said over and over and over again, we need a fucking draft to mix this up. We just do.
And why they kind of did this already with the Usos when the Usos were both Raw and tag team champions and they were carrying around 4 belts on each other. I mean, to have one tag team as champions for both brands, I think that's good enough. Like, you don't need to have, at least I don't think it's necessary to have 2 tag team champions on each brand. Like, if they do just one tag team, like the women's tag team, and have them wrestle the main tag teams on both shows, I mean, I think that would just make things a lot more fresher. I feel like we'll get different matches. We won't see the same tag teams wrestle over and over again all the fucking time. So I don't know.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Before we move, I agree with you, and I want to say really quickly why I agree with you, because when we used to have when they got rid of the brand split, quote unquotes, like 12, 13 years ago, when it was the Raw and SmackDown Super Show every Monday Night Raw, and they still had a SmackDown, but they fused SmackDown onto Raw every freaking week. We had one set of belts, so it was the unified tag team championships. And it made for a deeper roster in competition because you had to cross promote. You had so many different stories in and out. The reason they got rid of that was because they wound up having an overabundance of teams and not enough belts for those teams to go for. So I understand why we got 2 separate titles in the division again, but then they got rid of all their fucking tag teams. So I'm with you where I'm like, dude, either do it with one set or make more teams. For real. You're right, Snug. You're 100% correct.
Well, besides the announcements, the tag team titles being changed, we had a lot of great backstage segments on this entire show of Monday Night Raw, from Dominic Mysterio and AJ backstage, Chad Gable announcing that he's injured, and Adam Pearce is like, well, since you're injured, we probably won't see El Grande Americano, but we saw El Grande Americano. He's not injured, y'all. I told you guys that is not Chad Gable. El Grande Americano showed up.
That's Kaiser.
Backstage on Monday Night Raw. And this whole thing with Chad Gable being injured, the thing that I thought was actually interesting was like, what are we going to do? Who's going to lead us now? And Chad was like, Ivy Nile, you're in charge, basically. I thought we were going to see something else come out of all these backstage segments with American Made and El Grande Americano showing up, like some type of, I don't know, an announcement or run-in, but they just kind of didn't bring it up again. So, thoughts on this whole thing that we saw with American Made?
I like that Ivy is the one in charge to kind of keep the group afloat, because Ivy and I've been saying this, I've been watching Ivy since she debuted in NXT in the pandemic. I've been a massive fan of hers since day one. The creeds they've made too goofy for either of them to feel like a leader. And if Chad's gone, and out of the 3 people in the group remaining, 2 of them are a team, it makes sense that the one that's in the singles division should be the leader, to keep things, where it feels kind of even. I feel like they need to drop a lot of that goofiness that the creeds have going with them, especially the thicker creed. He's just too fucking out there, and they need to stop letting him open his mouth. Brutus. They need to stop letting him open his mouth, I feel like, because he's kind of ruining some segments, in my personal opinion. But we've been seeing Ludwig Kaiser loom in the background for weeks and weeks now in these segments, and he was looming there again earlier tonight. And even you, Snug, took a screenshot from earlier and posted him right behind them in frame on Instagram. Go follow us on Instagram at Snug Wrestling. And all of a sudden later, we see this new El Grande Americano show up, but pause ahead of time. I know Ludwig Kaiser's chest anywhere. So I've been a massive fan of Ludwig.
Whoa, blood, pause, man.
I already
pause.
said, shut your mouths. I already said pause. And I've been a fan of Ludwig's for years now. Massive fan. But we all know that's Ludwig. It's his exact stance, his exact walk, his exact muscle tone. Unless it's Chad Gable with a growth spurt and then he got on Ozempic to lose all of his muscle mass. That's not the regular Americano, because Chad's under 6 foot, Ludwig's over, and that Americano is now almost a whole head taller than the last time we saw Americano. I don't know how I feel about this, it being Ludwig. Even jokes aside, when we know it's Ludwig, I don't know how I feel about, we haven't seen him in months. They're finally putting him back on screen, and it's in this comedy character MacGuffin role. I don't like that. I thought we should be injecting him back in the mid-card division where he's a threat. He needs to be a major heel. I don't know if this is the move, but it's too early to tell to see what the point of this is. But those are my thoughts. I think this was effective for the most part.
Yeah, no jokes here. Holy crap, stutter much. Yeah, we all know that's Kaiser. Like we all knew that it's also Gable. There's two. There's two. There's not just one. There's dos. There's dos of them. So, yeah, I agree with Blood. Stutter much? Holy crap. Yeah, I agree with Blood. Kaiser should be back in the mid card scene, and I would love to see Dom versus Ludwig. Just them two. No interference from Judgment Day. Them two. Yeet.
Completely agree on that. But when it comes to a Grande Americano, unless that's Chad Gable
Kaiser.
on stilts, no. Because you're over here looking at him compared to Ivy Nile, and he is now towering over Ivy Nile compared to him being around the same height before. So it is very clear that that is Ludwig Kaiser. There's no way it's not. Even the mask fit differently than it did on Chad Gable. It was a completely different person underneath that mask now, and it's absolutely Ludwig Kaiser, for sure. I would really like to see him more on screen, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, yeah, he's been in the background quite a bit, but I want to see more of him. Like, come on. He is absolutely a threat, and he has shown time and time and time again to be an absolute threat no matter where you put him. When he was in the tag division, he was a threat. When he was in the mid-card, he was a threat. Like, he was a threat no matter where you put him. I want to see more of Ludwig Kaiser. He deserves way better than just to be randomly put in the background in backstage segments.
So all of a sudden, you guys are some type of fucking detectives and shit, right? All of a sudden, you guys are like, oh, this guy's taller. Oh, this guy's...
Shit.
Yeah, you guys are on that Scooby-Doo shit. Look, I'm not saying it's Ludwig Kaiser. We don't know. I don't know if it's Ludwig or not, all right? We don't know who it is, all right? But if it is Ludwig Kaiser, I don't know. But if it is, why? I don't understand why they would do this for Ludwig Kaiser, knowing the type of character that he has in the WWE. Like, he's serious, he's a heel, he's an asshole, and El Grande Americano, he's also technically a heel going after the luchadors, but what does Ludwig have to do? What's his beef with the luchadors? Like, how does this all even make any sense?
That's the thing. I was literally about to say Penta. Two things here. One, it's Ludwig. In German, V's are W's and W's are V's.
I don't give a
Yeah, I'm with Snug. I don't give a shit.
It's called a Volkswagen. But it's in the second point.
Not in America.
Is that and the second point, he knows about Germany. And the second point would be, it kind of feels like isn't this something that you feel like Vince McMahon would have done? Taken a great up and coming talent he's booked originally as this insane threat incredible in the ring that he's put all this pedigree behind, and then keep him off of TV to repackage him as a comedy gimmick character? Does this not feel like something Vince McMahon would have done if he was booking Ludwig Kaiser?
I don't know, but they better have a good fucking explanation or a good reason to do this, and this better be good for the sake of Ludwig Kaiser.
For real. Because it's given Rusev Day. Originally, this huge, amazing, crazy monster packaged like that for 3 years, and then all of a sudden, now he's shaking hands and kissing babies and goofy and having a guy sing his entrance theme. It feels like a Vinceism. I don't know if Triple H is having a late life crisis, but I don't know if I like this or not, bro.
Neither do I. That's why, like, I'm a big believer of just wait and see. You know, we'll see what happens, and I hope this works out. And I'm the biggest El Grande Americano fan. I saw him wrestle ever since I was a kid in Mexico with my grandpa, right?
Cap.
I'm the biggest fan of them all, but I just don't get this.
A fucking migraine here. Like, shut up with that shit.
I mean, he's a real Mexican icon. El Grande Americano is. So I hope that this leads to something really entertaining and great for the boy Ludwig Kaiser.
Cap.
I will say as well that a different backstage segment, I will absolutely give props for Sami Zayn still going out there after that brutal
We're not
attack.
there yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
We're not there
Tommy,
yet.
Shut up. We're not there yet.
Spoiler, Tommy. Spoiler, slow your roll, all right?
I was mainly going for that backstage segment portion.
Shut up.
When did that even happen? That happened right before. It was right after that, right? The American Made. Yeah, it was when El Gran Americano showed up. Karrion Kross attacked Sami Zayn. Yeah, it was right. It was in that same segment. I wasn't actually thinking about going over that, but should we? Is that something that's worth mentioning? Tommy?
Not really. It goes hand in hand in the finish, the final, in the main event, really.
Yeah, so we can talk about it then.
Tommy brought it up.
Yeah, we can talk about it in the main event because I think it has more to do with the main event, if anything. So where we're at now, I'm all out of whack now. Oh yeah.
Thanks, Tommy.
Rusev versus Sheamus. All right, this match was, compared to the opening match, it was a really different match as far as, like, one was tag team, it was high pace, and they did a lot of high risk maneuvers. This was singles match, classic wrestling match, two big ass dudes just beating the crap out of each other. Nothing fancy here, no high flashy spots. They were just, I'm over this saying, but meat slapping meat match.
I was literally gonna say big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah, well, whatever the fuck. But I think the right guy won this match. Rusev, he just, he came in not that long ago, so we need to give Rusev some more wins, some convincing wins over some serious guys, not just like the guys that Rusev came in fighting, which is like Akira Tozawa and Otis. No, now he's getting wins over people like Sheamus. So I think even Michael Cole said that this has been Rusev's biggest win since he's been in the WWE in his recent return. But overall, except for the finish, I really like this match because the finish I thought was bullshit because both of the guys were standing on the apron in the corner for like way more than 10 seconds. First of all, ref, why aren't you counting? These guys are not supposed to be on the apron for that long. Rusev fucking pokes Sheamus right in the eye in front of the referee. The referee's still standing there doing nothing. And then Rusev exposes a turnbuckle and hits Sheamus on the exposed turnbuckle again. Weapons, referee, not doing shit. And finally, Rusev was able to get Sheamus down after a long match. Like, this was a long match, but it was enjoyable up until the finish there. I thought it was really great. But what did you guys think about it?
I thought this match was the perfect example of why I keep saying I want a final Intercontinental Championship run from Sheamus. I want him to win that title before he retires. Sheamus has literally been putting on the greatest freaking matches of his career. And in my opinion, he goes out there, even on something like a fucking Monday Night Raw, and gives pay-per-view level performances every single time. The dude is getting the shit kicked out of him. He doesn't leave a Monday Night Raw match without bruises, without bleeding, without spotting, splotching. Like, he looks, every time Sheamus is in the ring, he looks like he's been in a fight. He has this legitimacy to the way that he wrestles. He really makes you buy into the drama of the match, and I freaking love that about him. I personally think, as much as my heart was like, oh, I want Sheamus to win, the right guy did win. Rusev needed the win. He needs a legitimate win. Let's not forget who Sheamus fucking is. Put some respect on my pale brother's name. The dude is a Grand Slam champion. Remember that. At one time, record-holding tag champion. He won the WWE Championship in less than a fucking year when he debuted. He beat John Cena. He beat Triple H. This guy is literally a serious contender. So having Rusev go over on him is very, very important to Rusev's character and his credibility. I will agree. This match, first off, pay-per-view level fucking match, in my opinion. The finish was bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Two things. One, really quickly, Snug, a quick correction. The apron does not count as a count out. So once you're on the apron, once you've touched the turnbuckles, once you're on the ropes, it's considered inside of the ring because you are on the ring surface. You're standing on the mat. Even though you're outside the rope, you're on the mat surface. People roll in to break a count, but if you are already on touching, arms are inside over the ropes, you're technically in the ring. However, the bullshit, which I 100% agree with you, is why the ref did not stop Rusev from ripping the cover off that fucking metal pole. And then the moment he purposefully rammed Rusev into an unprotected piece of the ring, this is not like when you hit the LED on the corner outside. This was blatant cheating and then using him as battering him into it. If the ref would DQ you for pulling off the turnbuckle cover and smacking someone's head into that ring, which they probably would if they saw it, that's why people do it when the ref's back is turned, this should have caused the DQ. 100% agree with you on that. I thought the match was fantastic. The drama when they were doing the yay boo spots on their knees and just holding each other and clotheslining each other back and forth. This shit, I want to see it again on a pay-per-view. I do. With a title on the line. I loved it. But yeah, the finish fucking just took the wind out of my sails, brother.
Agree with everything Blood said. The only thing I find ridiculous is the eye poking. Right in front of the ref. Poking the eye. That should be DQ. You're done. You poke them in the eye. That's illegal in the match. You're done. Only thing I'm going to say about that. Other than that, no thoughts. Really, Blood took the words out of my mouth.
Got a couple comments here. Shout out to BT Knight. Says, dude, the rage baiting is wild. Not sure what he's referring to. And also, Regular Joe says he won. I believe he's referring to Sheamus, the title in less than a year because he was Triple H's gym buddy. Sheamus versus Rusev. Unfortunately, will never be for any title, says Regular Joe. And shout out to Dwayne Cashman. What's the words? Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with us. We're going over Rusev versus Sheamus that took place tonight on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I'm a toxic. The whole thumbs in the eye shit. And all the ref had to say was, hey, keep your hands out of his eyes. Like, no. Stop it. Right now. Fucking DQ him. That is how it's supposed to be. But I will also say something that Big E tweeted during the match. He said, this was about like 10, 15 minutes into the match. He tweeted out, I've seen all I needed to see. I want a best of 7. And honestly, I completely agree with Big E on this one. I truly do. Because these two, just tonight alone, put on a massive banger that should have been like closer to the main event, honestly. Like I honestly would have switched Bailey and Lyra with Rusev and Sheamus. I would have switched those. So yeah, I am absolutely with Big E on this one. Put a best of 7 on these two.
Shout out to Monty Ice. What up? He says, "What up, Edgar? What's going on, Monty? We're over here going over the shenanigans and all the drama and bullshit that we saw on Monday Night Raw. And I say bullshit in a good way. I don't mean like bullshit like it was bad, like in a good way. Let's see what else we got. A couple more comments here. Refs have a lot of power, says Dwayne Cashman. Yeah, they do, but I think like the only good ref that actually I feel like actually gets shit done is Jessica Carr. You guys noticed?
Bro, you she's the only one who actually gets in their grill for shit. Yeah. And also, yeah, shout out to Dwayne Cashman. That's my boy, current professional wrestler, actually. So he definitely has the in-ring experience to speak on how refereeing is supposed to go. But yeah, Jessica Carr, Edgar, again, you're hitting the nail on the head there.
All right, where are we at now? Let's talk about Gunther. Gunther came out once again. Mr. Blood rolling his eyes already. We love Gunther, all right, here at Snug Wrestling, all right? Yeah. Gunther, he came out again to talk about Goldberg, and I'm like, all right. But I really like what Gunther had to say again, because he got cheered again for a minute, because he was saying, Goldberg, I'm going to expose him. I'm going to, play the long game with him. I'm going to make him have an actual wrestling match longer than 3 minutes. I'm going to blow him out. Pause. Hold on. Whoa. I'm going to blow him up. That's what I meant to say. Pause. Huge pause. I'm going to blow him up, get him tired, and I'm going to expose him, and I'm going to show the world that he never had it, that he was never good. And the people got behind that, but it wasn't until Seth Rollins showed up after Gunther asked, and after I beat Goldberg, then who's next for Gunther? My first initial thought was Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins came out rocking a brand new black briefcase that reminded me of like the old classic briefcases that they had when they first started doing the Money in the Bank, just a black briefcase. So they brought that back, which I thought was lovely. And this segment went from Gunther talking about Goldberg to CM Punk chasing Seth Rollins out of the ring into the crowd, and then LA Knight beating up on Seth Rollins. So we have CM Punk coming after Rollins, LA Knight coming after Rollins, and also CM Punk and Gunther got a little bit into it there. So I think that could be the start of something between CM Punk and Gunther. But what was your guys' like main points, or that the things that stood out to you guys the most about all these things that we saw?
Well, Snug, first off, interesting wrestling fan fiction talking about blowing people out and exposing them, and
Gunther said he was gonna blow him out, or blow him up.
Diddy's on trial, right?
No, but what did Gunther say? No, I'm not making this up. I'm taking a
Snug,
quote.
you can join him.
I'm taking quote from something that Gunther said. Hold up. No, don't even.
I think he said the correct term in wrestling or for athleticism when you gas someone is they get blown up.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow him up. He said, yeah. Right? Okay.
But yeah.
Sorry,
that means that means you're super winded, you're swelling, you're.
I know what it means, but it just came out so wrong.
That wrestling fan fiction, brother.
Oh, God
keep it in the forums. But as far as concerned, I am a Gunther stan, always will be. I wish they weren't wasting his fucking time with Goldberg, because I feel like that's why I'm actually angry at this match. I feel like they're wasting Gunther's time. As far as it's concerned, I think they're cheering him because half the fans also don't want to fucking see Goldberg. I don't think it's just an online Discord thing. I think it's people are just like, bro, we thought we were fucking done with this guy 2 fucking years ago. Like, why is he back? Like, if it's your retirement match, great. Have it with anybody else. We're trying to move the World Heavyweight Championship story forward. We don't need you fucking up the works, because the last time you were here, they just threw the title on you every time because it was a fucking Tuesday. Like, literally, we don't want this match. The only thing that was good about this segment was the fact that Seth came out, and that Seth was talking that ish, trying to put some mind game respect on Gunther's reign, but then also telling him and underlying straight up, my plan is to come for both world championships. I'm not just looking at John. While he tries to lie and cover up the fact that his cash in at Night of Champions was a failure by saying, oh, we didn't go there to cash in on John Cena. We went there to make sure that Punk never gets to become a champion so long as I'm in this company. Okay, not that you didn't hand it to the ref and actually attempt to get a match started. Okay, that didn't happen at all. I guess I made that shit up on the third rewatch. What a long hallucination. But and then we got CM Punk running down like the ref on Saturday. The man was motoring. Came in there, kicked the shit out of Seth. He gets beat by LA Knight. I like the segment later where they're talking to Punk backstage while he's really pissed off and has an interaction with LA Knight. But the line that Punk said where he goes, that's the best Seth Rollins' knees have worked in years. Where you saw how quick he was running up them stairs away from me. But I like the push. I like him shoving Gunther. I like Punk shoving Gunther. Also, speaking of knees, Gunther must have some weak ass legs, bro. You're much bigger than Punk. How did you go down like a sack of potatoes? Punk put some oomph in that. Gunther looked like a little kid sitting down looking up at him. I was like, yo, is Punk taking the title off of Gunther?
Just really quick, I want to read off a couple more comments because they got me rolling right now. I'm weak. Regular Joe says flag on the play. So yeah, I got a flag on the play for that one. But he also brought up another good point. Is he said CM Punk and LA Knight suddenly piques my interest in the back end of this year, possibly. And that's one of the things that I love about the WWE, the way that they do this. Just in one segment, we got a lot of possible matches. Like we already saw, I believe LA Knight versus Seth Rollins announced for Saturday night's main event, right? We saw potential CM Punk versus Gunther, and then LA Knight versus CM Punk after their little heated backstage argument. And it's just like all these things are just like connected in some way, shape, or form. And that's really interesting to me as a wrestling fan. Like, oh, we could see this, oh, we can see that, and it's just so many things happening at one time. But it's great to see, I think.
I swear, I am I the only one in here that doesn't like Gunther? I know Snug does, so don't even answer. Tommy, you like Gunther? Okay, yeah. So I'm the only one in here that doesn't like Gunther. Great. But I agree. We don't need to. I personally don't want to see this, even though I wish Goldberg takes it off of Gunther, because I don't, just for bias. For bias, I don't like Gunther. That's the only reason. Literally, actually, no. I take that back. I take that back. No, I don't want to see that. No. Anyways, I swear Seth is gonna change that briefcase. The color, you know how he changes his Titantron to the color of what he wears? He's gonna change. He's gonna do the same thing with the briefcase. Watch. Watch. I'm calling it. I'm calling it. I said it in the chat. But I think LA Knight is the first person to actually like have CM Punk get told ever since Punk came back. Like, no, I'm the line. Me and Seth are next, so you get to the back of the line. Yeah, but I think at SummerSlam it's going to be Punk versus Gunther just because of that one little push with Gunther's weak ass knees.
All right. Good old Punk. I love the fact that the camera did get close enough to hear Punk screaming at Rollins, "You're a coward! You're a coward!" It's like, yes. Right now? Yes. And then you've casually got LA Knight walking up behind Rollins with a bag of fucking popcorn in his hands. That just munching on it. I couldn't help but chuckle at that. Cause I'm like, oh, it's the classic sneak up. It's the classic sneak. Let's go. Coming from Knight, it works so much. I absolutely love that. So, and Toxic, I will say, on Gunther, I'm mid-ground. There are things I like about Gunther. There are also things that I despise about Gunther. Like the fact that his entire thing is literally said in his theme song that he does like to chop. His entire thing is in his theme.
I like to chop.
Exactly. He loves to chop. That's literally in his theme song. It's his entire thing. So, my biggest thing with him against Gunther, him against Goldberg, is the fact that this should not have happened now. It should have happened 4 fucking months ago.
Back in December at the first Saturday Night's main event, yeah.
Yes. Back when that entire thing was relevant. Now, it is not relevant. The only reason why they're doing it is that a way it could start in Atlanta and end in Atlanta. That is the only reason why this match is happening. And I hate it.
We got a little debate going on the chat that Mr. Blood, you probably have some words about this. We got Dwayne Cashman and Regular Joe. One of them believes that this match between Goldberg and Gunther needs a title, needs to have a title involved. The other one doesn't, and I believe that's something that we covered this already a couple times. I want to say, what are your thoughts on that, Mr. Blood? Just really quick before we move on.
Well, I'm going to guess here and say Dwayne Cashman believes it does not need a title.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, because Dwayne, like me, understand how this shit should technically go because we're both wrestlers. But he's correct. This match doesn't need a title. They literally fucked Jay over just to put a little extra prestige on this match because it was Goldberg's last match, because Goldberg was always the champion and Goldberg was the bar setter for being a champion. Like, they only did this because they figured to get the most spotlight on Goldberg's final match was if it had gold involved. The last three fucking times they had championship gold involved when Goldberg was floating around the company, Vince had a wet dream and just said, I'm going to book Goldberg to hold a championship. And he literally buried fucking The Fiend is the worst possible offense next to freaking Dolph Ziggler, but The Fiend is the worst case scenario. They had Goldberg go up against The Fiend and The Fiend lost all credibility. Goldberg doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
So actually there's a correction, my bad. He's saying that he's not saying it needs the belt, Regular Joe, but it's acceptable and it makes sense for it to have a title shot. And also to Tommy's comment earlier that said this match should have happened 4 months ago.
Should have happened 7 months ago.
Apparently Goldberg was hurt during that time. He was unable to train, so that's one of the reasons why they're doing it now.
Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all.
No one
asked for it.
Exactly, just don't do it at all. No one asked for this.
Yeah, it could have been a one-off segment.
No,
he could have embarrassed Gunther in the segment, and then Gunther goes on, and just leave it at that. No one was clamoring for this.
All right, let's move on here for the sake of time because we got a couple more segments that I want to cover really quickly. Roxanne is not only officially part of the Judgment Day now, but it looks like she's going to be one half of the tag team champions after it was announced that she's gonna defend the titles alongside Raquel Rodriguez, but they took a vote, and this was all Finn Balor's doing. He made it to the point where they had no choice. Even Dominic Mysterio alleged yes, accepting Roxanne into the Judgment Day and as tag team champions, but I thought it was just going to be, okay, Roxanne, we're going to put her with Raquel because so Raquel doesn't lose a title. She needs a tag team partner. Let's put her with Roxanne. But they took it a step ahead, and it just seems to me like they're just moving really, really fast with this because, oh shit, Liv Morgan's hurt, so now we got to speed up the storyline with Roxanne. So now she's in the Judgment Day and going to be defending the tag team titles. Just really quick, do you guys have any thoughts about how this went down? The segments backstage, or was it just kind of like, whatever?
The only thought I have here is that I think it makes sense that Finn put it to a vote. That way, Liv can't really sit there and say that it was all Finn's fault. It was his idea. Put it all on him because, like, no, the whole club voted for it. We all agreed. Even Raquel, the one person Liv still thought was kind of mentally on her side and kind of following the same trail she was following as to not trust Roxanne. This will feed into that later betrayal that Liv is going to feel when she finds out that even Raquel voted for Roxanne to take Liv's place. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no really thoughts. It's except the only one that hesitated was JD. He's the only one that hesitated on his vote. So I think that he's like, this is what I think. Not
it was Dom.
No, it wasn't. I thought JD went. I want it so the Judgment Day can be successful. So yeah.
And Dom wanted to call Liv first.
Okay, well, point still stands. Shut up, Tommy. Fuck, I don't even know where I was. Thanks, blood. I think that there's gonna be something. Whenever Liv comes back, JD is gonna try and convince her, hey, me and Dom were the only two that hesitated. We weren't exactly sure, but we wanted it so the Judgment Day can be successful. So I don't know. Not a lot, but just that one little bit.
Hey Balor, what you smiling like that for? That fucking close up of him just grinning from ear to ear. And I'm gonna put this as bluntly as possible. It screamed to me, I have a hard-on for Roxanne Perez. Wouldn't be the first time he's tried to slip something in. Need I remind you of the key with Liv Morgan? Just saying. It just screams that to me. It seems like Balor wanted to get her in as fast as humanly possible.
Giggity.
Fuck you, blood. But still, it seems like Balor wanted to get Roxanne Perez into the Judgment Day as fast as humanly possible. Just to piss Liv off. Because even when Dom is just like, I better call Liv first. It's like, no. Do not call her. Make this decision for yourself. And then he said, allegedly, yes. Like, he's still on the edge. More towards no than he is yes. Because he wants to make sure that Liv is technically in on this decision. But Balor is so against Liv being a part of this decision that when Liv comes back, there's going to be all hell to pay.
Yeah, what the hell is Finn's problem? Finn was the reason that Dom and Rhea broke up. He's the one that brought in Liv, right? And now he's bringing in Roxanne and trying to get rid of Liv. What the fuck? What's his deal? I don't know. But
I think the biggest problem with him is that he's one of the original members that has yet to ever be seen as a leader. Everybody else has tried to lead around him, and I think that's his problem. He's always got a problem with whoever winds up taking charge of the group. Remember, the Judgment Day wasn't supposed to have leaders. We're all supposed to be equals. And you guys, since you won the title, you're acting like you're in charge. It's exactly what he said to Finn Balor. Exactly what he said to Liv. Exactly what he argued with Rhea about.
Nice Sheamus impression, Blood.
It wasn't Sheamus. That was Finn Balor. They're both from Ireland.
Shout out to Elwood.
Exactly what he said to Damian Priest, not to himself.
Shout out to Edwood from the Heel Shit podcast. What's going on, Elwood? He said, shout out to the Snug crew. Yes, there's something going on with the vote. Something definitely is up. All right, let's move on because we're running out of time. We have to talk about this. I wasn't planning on it, but Bayley versus Lyra. I wasn't really looking forward to this match, but they got me at the end with the finish because it was a draw. It was a very interesting finish, I thought, the way that they got a double pin in here. Both women's shoulders were down. Wasn't expecting that because this was a number one contenders match. The winner faces Becky for the Intercontinental Championship, and I was hoping it was going to be Bayley because we've seen Lyra versus Becky, it feels like, millions of times, and the last match between Bayley and Becky Lynch was actually pretty good. I liked it a lot more than I thought. So I was pulling for Bayley all the way. It's a draw. And I'm pretty sure it's going to lead to a fucking triple threat match again. Because we can't get away.
Favorite.
We can't get away from triple threat matches and four ways and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm pretty sure this is going to go down at Evolution, right?
All right. So for the sake of time, I want everybody's answers to be fucking under a minute. So I'm going to give mine very quickly. Wasn't surprised by the end of this match. In fact, I knew it was going to be a double pin the moment that they set it up in the backstage interview and said, you guys are going to go one-on-one tonight, and whoever wins is going to be the number one contender. And that right there, I was like, it'll be a double pin because I already knew they wanted to do a triple threat. We said this weeks ago. I knew they wanted the triple threat. So I knew the moment that she cost her last week that they were going to get a one-on-one. And then the moment they actually said the one-on-one was happening tonight, I was like, it's going to be a double pin. I knew it. Not shocked at all. Not shocked at all. Final note, Lyra backstage with Bayley pissed me off. You cost her the title match last week and then you're surprised she doesn't want to communicate or talk to you or text or respond to you. Are you fucking delusional? They have turned me on Lyra completely, and she's still a babyface. Those are my thoughts.
No thoughts.
All right. I am going to
All right.
like usual. Fuck you, Toxic. So, my thoughts are simple. As Blood said, you cost her the win entirely to the point where you got in the ring just to beat the fuck out of Becky when Bayley had her right there. All it would have needed really is one more move and Becky would have been out. And you're over here thinking that Bayley is actually going to talk to you after that? Spoiler alert. No, that is not how that's going to work whatsoever. When it comes to the match itself, welcome to yet another multi-man match for an Intercontinental title. This is going to be interesting.
No, it's not.
All right, y'all, let's go on to the main event. I don't even know where to start with this because there's so much stuff going on in this main event. It got put together after Night of Champions, the main event at Night of Champions, CM Punk versus John Cena. It got crazy. It got chaotic. Penta came out to take out Braun Breaker, and then Sami Zayn came out to assist. And then for this main event, we got Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed versus Penta and Sami Zayn. And I'm just, fuck, dude. Like, this is just, I just feel so overwhelmed by this because Penta has been getting involved with them, but this all went down at Night of Champions at the main event. And I like that we're seeing Penta being in that same position, with Sami Zayn. And then obviously this is Seth Rollins' faction that they're fighting. And they're going after Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. It's part of the main event. Like, it's in the main event title picture scene with Seth Rollins and everyone. I'm just like, I guess I'm kind of confused about, like, what is happening here? What is going on with Penta going after Braun, the Seth Rollins guys, and Sami Zayn? And Sami Zayn got beat up before the match. Karrion Kross took him out, so he wasn't 100%. So they ended up losing. Penta and Sami Zayn ended up losing here. But what's like the end game here? Is everyone just coming after Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? Are they just taking people out now? Like, someone help me understand this.
So the crux of this issue goes back to the beginning of this year. Braun and Penta have been feuding with each other since almost Penta's debut. And I believe it was originally over the IC championship. And there was a whole IC feud happening that Penta was involved in. And Penta constantly got in Bronson's way or Braun Breaker's way, or Braun Breaker got in his way. They started having problems backstage. They were having problems in the ring. Those two specifically have been having a problem forever. Okay. Bronson Reed and Sammy have been having problems since the Bloodline 1.0 reunited for War Games. So they've never not had problems. Then Seth turned on his back on Jay and Sammy. And so that automatically means there's friction there. So everybody has a problem with everybody because someone jumped this guy, someone betrayed this guy here, someone turned heel on this guy here. It all makes sense. And it all goes back months and months and months from the original precipice of where this shit started. I regret to say, and jokingly also say, I think I want Penta versus fucking CM Punk at some point. Because Saturday, bro, I'm getting my ass beat. Help me. And Penta's on the way to the ring at Night of Champions. Cierro Miedo and crowd people bumping, doing his dance to the ring, while Punk is getting his ass jumped. And he's walking like, help me. Help. All jokes aside, and this is going to shock you, I'm beginning to lose interest in this. Because me personally, I am very angry at the fact that they have done what I feel has relegated Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to overinflated security for Seth Rollins with no with no character development, with no perceivable difference between the two of them other than, hey, big guy 1 and big guy 2, go do my dirty work and bidding. How is this propping up the Brawns? How is this making them better? How is this elevating this talent? They are just, at this point, glorified fucking security guards for Seth, who jump when he tells them to jump and run when he tells them to run and smash when he tells them to smash. We haven't heard them cut promos in the rings for a minute. We haven't had them, tell us why you're just following Seth. You two could destroy him. Bronson already tried. So I'm losing interest in this because at first I thought this was going to be a really cool group, really cool feud. And I'm sorry, but now the story is losing its luster because at this point, all you're telling me is that this is here to build Seth, not Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, the future of your company. So I'm starting to lose interest because I was already losing interest in Seth forever ago, as was everybody else. So they need to do something because outside of this match being fun and all, I'm starting to not give a shit.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that too. Just really quick. When this faction first started, I was excited because I was thinking the matches we can have: Braun Breaker versus CM Punk, Bronson Reed versus anyone who Seth Rollins is feuding against, LA Knight, for example. We just haven't seen these types of matches yet, and I'm wondering when they're going to happen. Now, I never thought I would see Penta team up with Sami Zayn in a million years, let alone seeing Sami Zayn throw up the Cero Miedo on Monday Night Raw and do the Penta walk either. It's cool to see them partner up, but it's just like the most randomest tag team ever. And I get it makes sense, because of the history that all these guys have against each other. There's beef there, but it's just like when you put it all together, it just didn't really seem to fit for some reason. I don't know. This main event was really weird to me.
Blood, a quick correction. Sammy and Bronson go way back before the Bloodline 1.0 reunited. They go back King and Queen of the Ring 2024 when they had a triple threat. This is when Sammy was Intercontinental Champion. They had a triple threat: Sammy, Bronson, and Chad Gable. Anyways, yeah, I'm with Snug. This match, it's kind of confusing me because yes, uh, Penta helped Sammy at Night of Champions. So what if people just help you? You just team with them to get their ass kicked? I don't know. But one thing I do know is going to come out of this is we're seeing a six-man tag. After Saturday night's main event, Jay, which he came out to save Penta and Sammy from getting Tsunami. So I think we're getting Jay, Sammy, and Penta versus Seth, Braun, and the other Braun. Seth and Braun. So yeah, not a lot of thoughts, but we're getting a six-man out of this whole bull crap. And I'm after Sammy, Jay, and Penta, which I don't think Jay's ever going to get out of this storyline. After Jay, Sammy, and Penta are done, I'm interested to see who's next for Seth, Paul, and Braun.
You know what? That's a interesting thought, Toxic. But I'm gonna do you one better. I don't think Seth will face Jey Uso or be in that 6-man tag match. What if it's Karrion Kross? What if Karrion Kross gets involved with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed to take on Sammy, Penta, and Jay?
And if you were saying that Cross joins their group, you would have Scarlett in there, and then they can branch off into the women's division if she decides to stop being a manager.
Maybe just like a one-off. I don't think Karrion Kross will join that faction, but because he wants to get his hands on Sami Zayn, I don't know. We'll see.
That would be an interesting thought. I'm not gonna lie. Very good thought there, Snug. But the biggest question is, how would you get them together? That's the question there. Yes, Sami Zayn would be on that one side, but how would you get those two together?
Paul Heyman.
I don't know. It's just one of those things.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, it could just be, Karrion Kross. He's really pissed off at Sami Zayn right now, and them just, hey.
I mean, Seth could use that to his advantage. Hey, you're angry at Sammy. I've got my hands full trying to focus on the world championships. If you do this favor for me, then we'll owe you a favor. So maybe Seth manipulates Karrion or uses his want to get to Sammy, says, hey, take my place. I'm preoccupied with other business. We'll make it worth your while, or we'll owe you a favor if you do this for us.
Yeah. That would honestly be an interesting thought there. That would... I think you're onto something there. But my big thing here... Braun, the Pokemon! Yay! Good old Penta and Sami Zayn. The only reason why this match was happening is because of the fact that they came out and messed with Braun during the main event of Night of Champions. That is
English, Tommy.
But it also did confuse me as well. Because I get it. They all have all of this history together. But why? Why are you randomly out of nowhere. It seems like Triple H's biggest thing is to go, hey, you like you? Okay, tag team, go. That seems how this is going, and it's driving me crazy that he's just casually putting two people together, even somebody who is not 100%. Like, I get it, he wanted to go out there to join Penta, but all that did was just bring down the odds of them winning there, unless it was Penta who was mainly in the ring, in which it wasn't. It was mainly Sami Zayn. Penta disappeared for about half of this match. It just drives me crazy that Triple H is just casually bringing together these random teams.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown, I guess, for the next show. We got some more things coming up this week. I don't know what me and Blood are going to be covering on Thursday for our weekly one-on-one on TikTok Live, but we will figure that out, I guess, in the next couple days. What else we got? Anything else that we got coming up, Blood, that we should plug?
Plug time.
Let's see. Well, I'll mention it in the outro plug whenever you're ready.
Go for it.
All right, guys, this has been Snug Wrestling here on Apple and Spotify and wherever else you have been getting your podcast. You can follow us here every Monday and Friday night as Raw and SmackDown go off the air. We do live post-show reviews. You can also, during the shows, catch Snug Wrestling, our fearless leader Edgar here, who runs Snug Wrestling, posting on all socials. Live reactions during the actual shows, moments after they go off the air. You get tons of content even during the show. Every Thursday night on TikTok Live, myself and Edgar, the head of Snug Wrestling, do one-on-ones on TikTok Live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can catch us this Thursday. We have yet to pick a topic, but we will surprise you when that time comes. And join us not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday on the 9th for our predictions for Evolution 2. Guys, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And remember, 4 letters, one word.